Welcome to Staying Sweet, the podcast. Tune into my weekly podcast to hear me, Alice Bradley, delve deeper into building your brand and enjoying a luxury lifestyle. All while staying sweet, of course. Whether you're looking to level up in business, start something of your own, or balance a more exciting, fulfilling, and healthier lifestyle, each episode will be created especially to inspire and encourage your own success so you can really have it all. Plus, don't miss out on the Staying Sweet specials, a series of exclusive interviews and conversations with Alice Bradley's network of inspiring entrepreneurs and brand owners. Always protect your sweetness, your light is not a weakness. Don't forget, there are new episodes every Monday. For daily content, you can check out my Instagram and you can follow me at alicelucybradley. Stay sweet. Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Staying Sweet, the podcast. If you're new here and this is the very first podcast you are enjoying, welcome to the Staying Sweet community. I really hope you stick around. I hope you binge listen to some of my other episodes. I've got a real mixed bag of episodes on here, and I'm really looking forward to delving into today's topic and really just like an open conversation. I haven't overly planned this episode. I really want it to come from the heart. And I feel like as of late, in terms of like how I would traditionally update you, I feel like life has been very strange lately. And I definitely feel as though I'm in this transitional period in my life where goals are kind of shifting and evolving, and yeah, I just feel like I'm needing to take a step back and really see what I truly want versus what I feel like I should be wanting because of my age or where I am in my life. And yeah, I feel like we're all going to have these moments where we're not quite sure what's next or where we're going to be turning or what's the next stage of our lives, because it's so uncertain. And to sit in that uncertainty can be so uncomfortable. Like, my God, I've had one of the most uncomfortable years of my life. Actually, I think possibly just over a year. I think I've really been sitting and maybe dwelling in it, to be honest, but like definitely sitting in this weird stagnancy and this weird like misalignment with what I truly want to be and do, or what I think I should be doing. I think I've been really just dabbling recently with lots of different elements of my career. And it's been great and it's been really fun, you know, coming out of a pretty much 2 year long pandemic and feeling so tied down and restricted, to then having things ease up and life just resume. And yeah, just wanting to try and sample a little bit of what life has to offer, particularly in my career. So I feel like this episode I really want to keep, you know, more relaxed and yeah, just come from the heart, which is why I'm kind of, just exploring my inner monologue and almost doing it as like a journaling practice, because I always find these episodes so cathartic. And it's a bit similar to my vlog content where I'll look back at something and think, wow, like I really deeped that. Like I really thought a lot into that particular moment or that particular thing. And sometimes you hit that point where you just completely move on from whatever you were feeling at the time, and you look at things with like a completely different perspective and think, wow, like that was a really intense time for me, but it's not as it seems, or it's not how I thought it was going to pan out, but look what happened instead. So yeah, I think there's been a lot of changes in my life lately, and when do things not change? Do you know what I mean? And as a Cancer, it's so hard. That just being somebody who really finds change difficult, and it's annoying because I know I need to do it, and I know I am so much better for it when things are out of my comfort zone. But my God, do I like to keep things simple where possible. Like, I know that sounds hard to believe, but it's definitely something that I feel like I prefer, even though I know it's not healthy for me. So I want to start with the affirmation or the quote of this episode, something that's going to really motivate you and just make you feel good. It's something that I've seen a lot on TikTok, I've seen on Reels, and I just feel like it really does assign itself well to this episode. So it's show me how good it gets. Now, I have been struggling quite a bit lately with my positive mental attitude, feeling like true gratitude for life and where I am. Like, I constantly feel like when I start something, I need to move on to the next thing. And it's not like because I don't feel fulfilled. I almost feel like I'm wasting my time on a task, so I start another one, and it's really becoming like super unhealthy for me to just say yes to everything and just be constantly like the grass is greener like everywhere I go, and particularly in my work life I'm noticing that as well. And just being aware of it has been completely and utterly messing with my head. Like, I've been in such a weird space where I'll put something on my vision board, say for instance, like I'm literally looking at my vision board right now, and I'll be looking at it and I'll be like, yes, that's what I want. That's what I want to aim for. And then I'll see something or hear something or suddenly think that that's not what I want, even though I know it is. But it's almost as if I've like burdened myself with the responsibilities and maybe like a negative self-talk that my dreams are too big, or like what I'm trying to aim for is completely not going to happen for me. And maybe that's because I have been sitting in this weird like dwelling stagnancy and just like resistance for change and resistance for a fresh start. And it's weird because I do feel in this odd place right now where I'm like, there's nothing really moving forward per se. I'm in the reflection stage. Like, I'm really in the, I'm literally deeping everything, but I'm in the really reflective part of my life where I'm like, right, why didn't that work for me? Or why hasn't that happened to me? Or why haven't I created this thing for myself that I told myself I wanted and I would put my all into? Like, why hasn't it come to fruition? And I think there's a lot of things that have been kind of incorporated in those emotions and those feelings, you know, in my personal life, in my waking like career, my personal brand as well, like social media. I feel like the social media landscape has been so incredibly negative lately, and it's not even like people's content or anything like that. It's literally not being seen. And yeah, I think the whole not being seen and the lack of visibility and new eyes on your content when you're still putting effort in, and if not more effort in, it's so disheartening. And you're literally seeing a creative industry like not deteriorating, but just like becoming something new. But I also feel very out of alignment with it, and I'm wondering if it is for me. And I think that's what's so fascinating. You know, nothing has to stay the same, but when you're in that weird stage where you're holding on to something or reminiscing how something used to be, it's really hard to see, you know, whether something is for you or not. And yeah, I feel like with the social media landscape, I'm really deeping it like a lot, and just thinking, is this what I want to do anymore? Like, I know I need to for my personal brand, and I'd be the first person to tell, you know, you guys or somebody in person, you know, you need a social media presence. But I almost feel like it's not what it was, and I'm slowly but surely like stepping back from it, and it's becoming a different thing in my life, and like that's totally fine and that's okay. I think another really interesting thing is the amount of tarot readings. Now, this is going to be like totally off the mark with like, you know, this women in business podcast and you know, entrepreneurial content, but this is really who I am and what I believe in and what I'm about. But my recent experiences with tarot readers has been so interesting as well. Like, so many of them have picked up on this almost like chaotic energy of, if you keep saying yes, it's going to lead you to like nothingness, because you feel like you need to be picking up everything. And it's weird because I feel like that's what social media is for a lot of people. You know, it's not what it once was, and it's become a real like panic stations platform where people are just like going to town on stories and reels and TikTok and this and that, and it's a lot of effort for people that don't really want to do those types of things. And I know we're evolving and it's becoming a new platform, and it's all these platforms are becoming, you know, the new era. We're in a video era. But also I want to kind of take back my power and believe that I can make success for myself and not have to do what everyone else is doing. And it kind of just brings me on to a few things that I've been reflecting on really, and like understanding about myself lately, remastering my mindset and getting back in a positive headspace. Like, I have caught myself so many times this week, so many times over the last few months, being so negative, and my negative self-talk, like, where has this come from? Why is it so awful? And I think it really does come from the belief systems that we set for ourselves, and then in turn it gets reflected back out in our present and waking life. You know, what we internalize, we actually receive back externally. Like, the people we meet, the energy we receive back from others is usually in alignment with how we're feeling about ourselves and how we value ourselves. And I think there's just been a lot of instances lately for me where I've kind of felt like, whoa, like I would never take that shit normally, but I'm receiving it right now. And it's almost like, whoa, okay, like you're not in alignment, and I can feel that. And I think sometimes getting yourself back on track with a positive mindset really will shape you. And I know this episode is going to feel like so chaotic, but I promise you there is a method to this. And the affirmations show me how good it gets. Like, it's going to be my mindset, you know, reset. Because I think, show me how good it gets. It gives me that optimism. It gives me that, you know, ability to just let things happen and not be so worried about how or when or why. Show me how good it gets. Like, I can't fathom how good it can be because I don't know certain things necessarily exist in my life yet. So just being on that frequency of allowing the best possible things to happen to you is going to make you feel so much better, so much high energy. You're going to be more positive in your business. You're going to be more positive about yourself and your talents. Like, another thing that I really want to touch on, guys, I don't know why, but for the last year, I'm not joking you, I've just come to the realization lately with conversations with new people in my life that I am a bit of a belittler, but not to other people, to myself. I belittle my work, I belittle my busyness, I make myself small in the presence of people who either think they know me or think they can judge me based on what I share on social media, which, as we all know, is a complete smokescreen. But yet, here I am. I sometimes, well, I'm not even going to say sometimes, I most definitely, in most social situations, belittle my work, belittle my productivity, beat myself up. I'll come back from a press trip and it will be the most insane experience, and someone will say, oh my gosh, you had this amazing holiday, you were abroad. And yeah, okay, it can look like a holiday, and we're working, we're hustling, and a lot goes behind the scenes of that. It really isn't a holiday, but it's almost like, in order to make myself feel like I was worthy of that experience, I belittle myself and I say, oh, it was really stressful and XYZ, and oh, it was just a trip. And it sounds ungrateful, but it's me playing small, and it's me not actually believing in myself or believing in my worthiness to be in these amazing experiences and be on the receiving end of abundance. And I think that's what's really been holding me back lately. So it's interesting as well how the belittling of myself in my day-to-day, with little casual conversations, conversations with people in the gym or conversations with people over coffee, all these little interactions, these social tidbits, they chisel away. These little phrases chisel away at your worth, and we are creatures of habit, guys. The words we speak and we repeat when we bump into friends or catch up with an old colleague, they do chip away at our worth. And I'm 100% certain it's why some areas of my business have been, not doing so well, because I've been really just chiseling away at my own ambition and my own dreams. And I think that's why I want to share a podcast episode on this, because you could be listening to this today and think, oh my gosh, I do this every day. I belittle what I'm trying to do. And one of the things that I absolutely hate is when somebody says, oh, my little side hustle or my little business. That is belittling. You are literally, the word little is in there. You are belittling yourself. You are making yourself of lower value to accommodate the opinions, the potential negativity, or the comments that you might get from people around you. And yeah, it's just made me really think lately, narrow minds are going to narrow our search for happy. And it's hard when there's people that really do love you, but they don't even mean to, and they almost burden you with their beliefs. And I think it's weird when you're in that like small town mentality. I'm not even going to try and blame it on where I live. It's so fascinating, but I really do feel like a big fish in a small pond. And because I haven't been able to just get myself out of that small pond, I've managed to like shrink myself and mold myself in such a way that I am holding myself back, because I know I'm going to be in this pond for a little bit longer, when actually like I need to just get a grip, sort myself out and get myself out there. Like what comes out of your mouth comes into your life. Like it's honestly crazy. And if I saw my 18-year-old self, who was the most like driven, ambitious, like the ridiculous things I had on my vision board, to some of the things that I have now, like it's crazy how small I've been playing it. And it truly does come down to who you surround yourself with, who is around you, the energy in the room, how you speak about yourself. And it's not even to be egotistical and self-obsessed or vain. Like those are things that are completely detached to what this is. This is about just believing in yourself and asking the universe, show me how good it gets. Like I've literally got a quote on my mirror, and it says, what if all your dreams do come true and that it's just a matter of time? Like I remind myself of that daily, because I really have got to that point where I'm about to hit 25. I'm thinking that like my life is about to slow down. Like I need to think about serious elements of my life, and why hasn't this happened for me? Why haven't I got this particular job? And why haven't I bought a house, etc., etc. Like the comparisons really do break you down. They knock your confidence. They take you out of alignment to your path and your journey. And when you're playing small, you're only going to get small results. If you're putting small things on your vision board because you think, these crazy numbers or these crazy visions are too much, that's all you're going to achieve. And you might even achieve even less than that. So yeah, my advice really is to be so careful with the thoughts you think and the words you speak, and just protect your energy. Like I've come to realize I have let too many people, too many opinions, too many like inner demons, if you will, like inner critics get in the way of my potential, put me off jobs, make me say no to things, not email someone back when I get a crazy opportunity come through the inbox. I've done it. I've literally had insane job opportunities, and because I've not felt good enough or, worthy enough or have the right equipment, I've literally said no, or I've ignored it. And that is so disgustingly awful. Like I'm literally so annoyed at myself, and I think that's why I want to sit down and do this podcast episode. So yeah, I think we also need to be so careful when we talk about like what our goals mean, and like how we are going to be happy and how we're going to thrive when these things come about in our lives. And the whole like show me how good it gets is really a testament to that. So for many people, a job is slaving a 9 to 5, feeling miserable, feeling anxiety, feeling stress, having to go into an office that you hate, etc. And it's almost become like not a competition, but the sign of like you working hard, or you actually, having a proper serious job, when you're not having fun and you're miserable. It's really, really odd. And it's almost like this whole lucrative fun job experience, or building your own business, or setting up your own 9 to 5 experience. Some people have different working hours, and they set They set their day up for themselves and they have an amazing experience, and they still rake in more money than the average person. Like, we've almost been trained to believe that that is impossible, and it's a sign that you're not actually, successful or thriving. And actually, that's totally not true. I think we really do need to detach ourselves from this idea that a fun job is lucrative and, 1% of the population is going to experience that in their lifetime. So I think really what I want to leave you with is this, I guess, a kick up the bum, this pep talk that you should be open to all the good and happy opportunities that the universe or whatever you believe in has to offer for you. You're putting your time and energy into something. If you're trying to channel business growth, or you just want to leverage yourself in the company that you work for, and you see yourself climbing a corporate ladder, all these things are fine and great. I think it's just taking a step back and really reassessing how you talk to yourself and how you talk about yourself. Like, the elevator pitch that you give to someone in a job interview should be what you use when you're chatting with your friends, with colleagues, with people who have more or less than you. Like, at the end of the day, you're carrying that energy with you every single day. And it's made me realize I have been so negative and so self-critical that I am actually burdening and holding and belittling my blessings. And it's probably why I've been, in this weird, like, stagnant phase of my life, because I've played small and played small and played small. And I think there's lots of factors that have come into play, living at home still and feeling really like outgrown in my space, not really vibing with my area anymore, where I come from, feeling outgrown from that. Wider issues, like financial implications and money, cost of living, all these things, all these factors come into play, and they chisel away all these beliefs in ourselves. They chisel away at our worth, at what we have, the potential we have. And I think it's just so sad that there will be people out there that will never realize this. I really just want to share this episode with you. I want to motivate you. I want to inspire you, much like I want my guests to inspire you and motivate you. And ultimately, I have a vision with this. I have a vision with this podcast. The words I'm speaking to you will matter. They do matter. And if I can help one person, if I can change one person's life, that will be my goals accomplished. But I'm not going to play small. I have a vision. I believe that this is my time to shine. This podcast episode, I hope it has found the right people and you guys have the most blessed experience. Do your shadow work. I promise you, it's so worth it. Sit down in your thoughts, maybe split or divide a journal page into two, write all your current beliefs or things that you've said recently to yourself, and then write how you could do better, what you could say instead. I really find that helpful. And I think I'm going to start having, phrases or things in my phone notes just to say, okay, I've thought something really dark or really negative. Let's take a step back. Let's go to my notes and let's realign. Or even have some prompts when people ask you those questions, which they always do, guys. When you bump into that one friend or that one friend's mum and they're like, oh, what are you doing now? Like, your life's this or your life's that. And it's like, okay, well, you do see that and I can understand why you believe that. But, rewriting that narrative. Again, what I just said there sounded almost negative because I get that a lot with people that don't necessarily know me personally will say, oh, I saw you did this and blah, blah. And in order to not feel embarrassed about that accomplishment or that experience, I belittle it. I say, oh, well, it was actually, really stressful. Or this thing happened and it's suddenly a negative when it didn't need to be. It's just my gut reaction. So yeah, really sit in this moment right now. Get out your notebook or your phone notes and just do some journaling. I'm going to leave you with just the same reminder. The affirmation, show me how good it gets. And I promise you guys, things will happen. Magical things will happen. I believe in it. Stay blessed, stay sweet, and yeah, enjoy life. Thank you so much for tuning in to Staying Sweet, the podcast. If you enjoyed listening, please do leave a review, and I will catch you next week for a new episode. Stay sweet.